The Smart is a pretty recognisable little city car, having first arrived on our streets in around the year 2000. Since then, it's become more and more grown up. This 4.2 in particular has been breathed on by tuning company Brabus, which means that you get bigger wheels, lowered sports suspension, and a more aggressive overall look. However, how does that change the overall package? Let's find out. You could hardly describe the Smart 4.2 Brabus as boring to look at. With its sports body kit, 17-inch alloy wheels and lowered suspension, it looks a lot beefier than you expect for a car measuring just 2,740mm long. Given its small size, it'll probably come as no surprise that the Smart's interior isn't the biggest. However, there are some pretty smart storage solutions. This one here, for instance, is really good for keeping precious items out of sight. And overall, it's just a nice place to be. All cars get this nice 7-inch touchscreen infotainment display housing media functions and satellite navigation. It's really easy to navigate, you get home buttons at the side, and it's actually quite responsive to operate too. The Smart is actually able to offer a surprising amount of boot space, and it's quite simple to access thanks to this split folding mechanism. And once you're open, there's more than enough room for a soft weekend bag or at least a couple of shopping items. Now, you'd think that a car with just over 100 brake horsepower wouldn't be that much fun to drive, but in reality, the Smart Brabus is actually a little bit of a hoot. The lowered sports suspension means that there isn't much body roll, while the 6-speed dual-clutch automatic gearbox actually shifts quite well, although it can be a little dim-witted at times. Now, Smart claims that you'll do 65 to the gallon on a combined cycle. Now, you'll probably see a little bit less than that, but it does mean that you won't be spending too much time at the fuel pump. You do get cruise control fitted as standard, which does mean that longer journeys aren't as tiring as you think, though the Smart does have a tendency to buzz slightly higher up the rev range at motorway speeds, which means you get quite a lot of noise inside the cabin. The Smart 4.2 Brabus is a surprising amount of fun. Thanks to decent punch, it's really good to drive on twisty roads, and because of its small size, when you get back to the city, it's still the king. It is expensive, prices start at just over 16 grand, but for the sheer amount of usability you get, it seems a small price to pay.